Welcome students for the Advanced Computational Techniques course. In this lecture, we will be discussing about the challenges in molecular computing. In this part of molecule discusses the challenges in molecular computing. This part of module discusses the challenges in molecular computing. We look at why molecular computing is difficult to use in practice and what limitations must be solved before it becomes useful. Challenges before molecular computing. Molecular computing tries to solve the same kinds of problems that conventional computer solves, but it uses very different physical processes. So far, it has not produced a breakthrough or killer application. Such an application should match the nature of biomolecules and outperform solid state electronics. The main difficulty is that we cannot fully control the physical chemistry involved in information processing, even though biotechnology has progressed a lot and lot. Reliability, efficiency, and scalability. These important three issues exist: reliability, efficiency, and scalability. Reliability means confidence and that an experiment gives a correct answer. Reliability means confidence that an experiment gives a correct answer only, which is a reliable person for giving the proper answer. Efficiency means that the molecules are used effectively in the process. All the molecules or the number of devices or power efficiently being used during the process. Scalability means that the same experiment should work when longer molecules are used to solve bigger problems. These three issues are separate, but they are linked among them. Biological versus computing expectations. Biologists do not worry about these mentioned issues because success in biology means that at least one experiment works. It does not matter how many failed before. In computing, this is not acceptable because we expect repeatability, accuracy, and consistency more importantly. Now, we'll discuss about the encoding problem. The encoding problem happens when the chosen molecule do not represent the problem correctly. The encoding problem happens when the chosen molecules do not represent the problem correctly. The encoding problem happens when the chosen molecules do not represent the problem correctly. Once the encoding is chosen, the scientist depends on chemistry. If the encoding occurs or contains error, repeating the experiment will still produce wrong results. If the encoding contains errors, repeating the experiment will still produce wrong results. Errors come from mismatched hybridization, frame shift, hairpins, bulges, and partial hybridizations. Requirement for good encoding. A good encoding must avoid these errors. It must also produce enough correct molecules that contain the answer. An optimal encoding should maximize correct hybridization and make reaction conditions favorable for solution extraction. Error preventing codes A more principled approach may solve the encoding problem. One example is the combinatorial approach from the Memphis group. They treat a molecular experiment like sending a message through a noisy channel. Shannon's communication theory solves this by adding redundancy. The mathematical basis uses Boolean hypercubes with Hamming distances. Building and programming the molecular computers. The biggest challenge is building a complete molecular computer. A true molecular computer should have storage, programmability, and information processing. But it is unclear if these all can be achieved. DNA computing seems to follow the trade-off principle by Michael Conrad, which says no computing system can have high programmability, high efficiency, and a high evolutionary adaptability at the same time. Implementing evolutionary computation. Evolutionary computation uses biological analogs to design programs. Natural selection is the common analogy. There are genetic algorithms, genetic programming, evolutionary strategies, evolutionary programming, and immune system models. These methods keep a population of solutions, evaluate fitness, remove weakness in the weak solutions, combine strong ones using mutation or crossover. Let's discuss about artificial immune systems. A newer biological inspired approach is based on the immune system. The immune system can detect and fight many types of intruders. An artificial immune system can protect a computer by recognizing what belongs and what does not. Instead of molecules, it works on strings such as bit strings or machine instructions. Molecular versus biological computing need to be described here. The difference between the molecular and biological computing. See, molecular computing is not only technology, I'm sorry, its molecular computing uses organic molecules but does not mimic biological processes. Biological computing uses a real biological process for computation. Bacteria rhodopsin is an example of molecular computing. Neural computing and DNA computing are examples of biological computing. Bacteria rhodopsin is an example for molecular computing, whereas neural computing and DNA computing are examples of biological computing. Computing technologies. Molecular computing is not the only technology competing with the silicon. Other technologies include holographic memory using lithium niobate, which promises high storage capacity. Another one is single electron memory, which is using only 1 to 10 electrons per bit, giving very low power use. Research is also being done on controlling neutral atoms with laser beams. This may allow information storage using spin and quantum coherence in single atoms. With this, we can actually stop this lecture, and the remaining things we can actually continue from the next lecture, which is given in the next video. Here we have discussed about the various challenges involved in the molecular computing. Thank you, students.